right now, we are going to turn the lights back on and shine a spotlight on somebody who's a good friend to us here, Drew. He's back with a hot track. It's called YNF, and he's joining us live this morning.
Good morning, my dude. How are you?
So good to see you, but we can't hear you, and we need to hear you because we need to hear those gorgeous vocals because you will sing for us live in a couple of minutes. So as we, there we go. Drew, good to see you and hear you. How are you coping?
I'm good, man. Just staying. I mean, you know me. I'm just staying positive, man. We're gonna get through this. I like that the curve is starting to, thin out. So there's some positive news, and I'm just gonna stay in that positive path, man.
That's it. And how's the family doing? Everybody's doing well?
Family's good. My daughter's here sleeping, of course. 15-year-old teenager, she's sleeping. So.
And you've been busy working away as you always do in studio. Talk to us about this reimagining of an old track. Listen, when I launched my career, it was 2003. You were one of the first interviews with In Essence.
Yes.
And it was such a timeless track then, and you've revamped it. And right now it's getting over 70,000 views and counting, streams rather. And the video's coming out soon. Talk to us about YNF.
Yes, YNF, obviously, it's from throwback You'll Never Find. Shout out to In Essence, my brothers, my boys. I love you. They gave me their blessing to remake the song. It's basically the same concept. I rewrote the verses. Shout out to the Key of Omar, who co-wrote the verses with me. And just to make it more relevant for 2020, but, Mobb Deep, Quiet Storm beat, it's a timeless beat. It's a timeless song. So I thought, everyone's sampling, classic R&B songs. So instead of me sampling someone else, I was like, hey, why don't we sample ourselves?
Let's bring back the fam. That's it. And I'm glad you talked about the sample, of course, with Mobb Deep, because you're hearing hip hop artists that do like ciphers and all these freestyles and stuff, and it's always over that beat. Everyone's like, what beat is that? The newer generation, and that is the classic vibe. We were just chatting before we got on here, you and I, about how Shaggy, who was on yesterday.
Shaggy.
Yo, right? And
Mr. Lover.
And how he's bringing out Hot Shot 20 years later, and this is kind of like 20 years later for y'all, too. And you were just saying it's great to be able to bring this vibe back to everybody.
Yeah, man, honestly, I just feel blessed to still be in the music industry this long and still have the opportunity to actually revisit a hit from 20 years ago. It blows my mind that all this time has passed. But yeah, it's just a blessing. I'm just glad to be here, still making music, to all the artists still making music and putting music out during this time. I love y'all. Let's just keep this moving.
So what's coming up in terms of Rebirth 2020, the album? When can we expect more?
Oh, my goodness. This has been long awaited. It's funny because I titled the album The Rebirth 2020 in 2016, and it had actually nothing to do with the year of 2020. It was more about 2020 vision and lessons learned, So the fact that it's going to be released in 2020, and it's the rebirth, and it's been, 20 years since the In Essence big hit. It's, I don't know, it's interesting timing, man. So I'm just excited. The album is crazy. It's real R&B music. When I say real R&B music, I mean R&B music, that is forever loved, I think, the era of 90s R&B music. Still, I got to trickle in a little bit of the new 2020 vibes, but you will never hear me singing no mumble auto-tune song. Shout out to artists that do it. Love y'all, but that ain't me. And I'm gonna keep it real and keep singing for these fans and show them that R&B, real R&B, still lives.
And that's right, and that's what you're all about. So we're gonna hear it right now. The single is out, of course. Y'all can start streaming.